What is up, everybody? How y'all doing, man? It's been a minute since we've been in the shop. Well, since y'all seen the shop. But we're gonna get right to it today. We're gonna go ahead and start building the 85 engine up. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all these parts, go over everything, make sure we got everything we need, and go and get the parts out and go and start greasing this thing up and assembling it. So let's get to it. So we're gonna start with the biggest pieces first. They're clean. They're not like polished yet, but they've been in the parts washer. So I've already cleaned them up. Actually, my nephew, he cleaned them up a while ago. But yeah, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go ahead and clean up all this, get the buffer out and get these real shiny, make them look good. And then go ahead and clean up stuff like this, clean up the seals. Go on, move to the next piece. We'll get to the jug, then we'll get to the clutch cover, and then just move on from there. Alright, so here's how the pieces turned out. Yeah, now we're gonna go and start assembling. Well, cleaning up all these seals so we can put the gaskets up there, and then grease up all the bearings and go and put the bottom end together. Alright, so I'm gonna go and show you all the parts I got to build this thing. New gasket kit, new crank, new piston, swing arm axle, swing arm washer and nut, swing arm repair kit or rebuild kit, linkage rebuild kit. That should be everything to get this bike built and put back together. And then little cosmetic stuff like plastics, all that good stuff to make it look good. All right, we'll go ahead and start by throwing the crank in there. Brand new Hot Rods crank. This is a Tusk crank puller. It's a really nice tool to have. Put this adapter up there like so. Screw the nut on. Right. Put this nut up there. And what this does, this pulls the crankshaft this way, so it seals it into the bearing. Pull it out. Get your rods. Get them to their snug. And all you do, and it'll slowly pull the crank in. And make sure you have the rod up, because if it goes this way, it'll bind up and it'll bend the rod out of spec. And be patient. You don't want to hit like an impact on it. You want to be real slow, precise, and then you'll feel it bottom out when you get to the end. Nice and easy. Now the crank's in, we're gonna go ahead and move to the transmission. Grab your transmission components, and I put zip ties on them so they'll stay together. If you confuse these pieces and the right washers aren't in the right spots, then the gears, they're not gonna be able to shift correctly. So make sure you keep this all together. When you do this, make sure you wanna mesh these gears together. See how they kind of swine together. And then what you do, make sure they're connected right. Make sure you have them on the right side. Drop these bad boys in. Just make sure everything's lined up, going in properly. Yep. And the gears, they're not going to turn properly until you have the shift forks in place. So we'll go and install those now. There's these little grooves. See how that comes up? So you want to put these forks in between there. And there's two of them on this side and there's one on this side. And it's down below, right there. You actually want to put the forks in first and then put the shift rails in. Yep, you got it right. Because they're spinning freely now. See, once you have those rails into place, the shift forks into place, it rises the gears up to a certain point, and then you'll be able to rotate these gears freely. You should be able to shift through all the gears, no problem. And then to find neutral, that's neutral because you're able to hold this gear in place, and this one still spins freely. So all the gears are good to go. What we're gonna do now, go and take the sealant, go around this whole seal setting, and then we're gonna go ahead and put the gasket on, and we can go ahead and put the other case on. And the only reason we're putting this gasket maker up here is because, like I said, this seal setting is kind of chewed up. It's gonna need a little extra gasket, I guess you'd say, just for security so it doesn't leak. Yeah, now it's just kind of a tedious process. We're good to go. Now we can throw the other case up there. Make sure everything lines up beautifully. Get this crank puller for a last time. Now we'll repeat the process. Like I said, go slow, especially on this side, because you want to make sure everything lines up perfectly. And we'll fully seal it. Alright, got all the bolts in. Now we can go and throw the stator in on the side. Alright, now we can go and install the flywheel. But before you do that, make sure you have this pin in place. You can go and throw your flywheel, just like so. Get your washer and nut. We're just going to tighten it up on the impact, and then we're going to go back and torque it down. Yep, there we go. All right, now we're going to go and throw all our clutch components in. This is why you don't use impacts. Tighten it down first, or at least use the impact and don't crank on it, because I just broke that bolt. So I have to wait, order another one. That's the clutch side so far. We can't go no further until we get that shift lever in there. So next I'm going to start sandblasting this so I can go ahead and paint it, and then I'm going to sandblast the other clutch cover so I can go ahead and paint it also. Alright, so we got all this blasted. I decided to go ahead and blast the head and paint that black also. So we're gonna go and get these ready to coat. We're gonna get some paint mixed up and yeah, go and get these painted. All right, so we got the engine fully rebuilt. Yeah, the engine turned out well. I got one bolt also I need to get right here. But other than that, yeah, that's the engine. 2006 Cr85 engine rebuild. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed building this engine. It's been a long time coming for me to build this up, actually. So I'm glad I got it done. And comment if y'all have any questions about the engine rebuild. I hope I can answer them for you. And yeah, see y'all on the next one. Peace.